Title: The Interstellar Complaint Department, Chapter 1. Welcome to the desk of doom. On the first Monday of midterm week, Teddy discovered a new definition of terror. It was not finals. It was not the cafeteria chili that glowed in the dark. It was an email that read, "Congratulations, student Theodore Baxter. You have been selected for a prestigious internship at the Interstellar Complaint Department. Report immediately." Prestigious. That is the word people use when they want you to wear a name badge and apologize for things you did not do. The reply came quickly: correction. You did a few of those things. Remember the noodles that achieved sentience and petitioned for voting rights. Technically, I only overcooked them, snapped Teddy. They took it personally, responded Zorp. The complaint department sat in a cube-shaped building, wedged between the Galactic University library and an emergency exit that led nowhere. The front door sighed when it opened, as if regretting its own choices. Kriebel asked, "Intern." The speaker was a crab-shaped being in a tiny vest with 17 pockets full of pen-like implements. Two stylish eye stalks tracked Teddy like twin security cameras. "Hi. Teddy Baxter. Absolutely thrilled to help in any way that does not involve getting sued," admitted Teddy. "I am Kriebel, Senior Intake Supervisor of the Interstellar Complaint Department. We process grievances, petitions, grumbles, nitpicks, and emotional sighs heavier than 5 decibels. Your role is simple. You will listen, you will log, you will not escalate the situation by adding jazz." Teddy remarked, "I do not think I have ever added jazz to anything. Your file says otherwise." "Follow me," admitted Kriebel. Past rows of desks humming with translators, Teddy entered a hall lined with doors, each labeled with tasteful despair. Intake, escalations, statistical flailing, and the break room, which had a poster that said "Breathe in. Breathe out. Do not scream. This is the heart of our process," called out Kriebel. "Meet Form 9000. Our automated complaint compiler. It is designed to simplify, standardize, sanitize, and when necessary, neutralize. Interns say hello." The reply came quickly: "Hello, Form 9000. Hello, human Theodore Baxter. Your voice has been classified as friendly, possibly naive. That will be useful before lunch." "Before lunch," remarked Teddy. "Yes. The afternoon brings despair. Remember our mission statement, intern. All species deserve to be heard, even the ones that communicate in interpretive dance," whispered Kriebel. "That is my aunt," Kriebel announced, first task. "Intake booths B. Your headset translates 97 languages and 2 kinds of hissing. Sit straight. Smile gently. Do not promise the moon. Someone already returned it and wants a refund." "Someone returned the moon," admitted Teddy. It did not fit their aesthetic. "Good luck," remarked Kriebel. Teddy slid into the booth. The glass window faced a zigzagging queue of beings from every corner of the galaxy. Tall, tiny, furry, shiny, and at least one that looked like a stack of origami cranes arguing with itself. A bell chimed. "Next, please," the first complainer waddled up. It resembled a prickly pear with eyes and wore a sash that said "Best in Hissing, Regionals." "Hello. Name and grievance," declared Teddy. "Moxleyan, I am Esri of Moxlia. Your university posted signs that say no smoking. I do not smoke. I exhale vacuum. All my friends fainted in your cafeteria because the sign did not include no exhaling vacuum." "Right. That would cause issues for lungs." Zorp continued, "I do not have lungs. I feel left out. Form 9000, log this under signage specificity and oxygen fragility," continued Teddy. "Logged. Suggested resolution, add notably do not remove the atmosphere. Acceptable. Also your napkins are edible but emotionally unkind," replied Esri. Teddy snapped, "Emotionally unkind napkins? They whisper get a grip when you sneeze," muttered Esri. "I will speak to the napkin committee," observed Teddy. "There is no napkin committee. Recommendation, invent one." The next in line was a translucent cube with a bow tie suspended inside like a trapped butterfly. "Greetings, I am Unit 12 of the Bureau of Cubic Activities. We protest your campus stairs. They are a hate ramp, continued Teddy. Cube muttered, they are not a ramp at all. I am a proud cube. Stairs make me tumble with reduced dignity. Understood. Form 9000 note, accessibility for polyhedral patrons. The reply came quickly, logged. Suggested resolution. Install ramp with a gentle slope and a self-esteem playlist. I prefer jazz. The reply came quickly, no jazz. An orb floated up, glowing like an egg who believed in itself. Orb, I am Leela of the Drift Choir. The university air caused our songs to crystallize mid-note. Now we have shards of soprano embedded in our auditorium walls. We demand decrystallization, a broom and a Grammy. How exactly does a song crystallize? With passion and sub-zero humidity. Also, your janitor said he was on break for an hour. It lasted 3 weeks, added Leela. Teddy explained he is very committed to breaks. Logged. Suggested resolution, humidity control and apology in 4-part harmony, said Form 9000. Good. Also, our shards are sharp. Please issue warning signs that say do not lick the chorus, Teddy asked, already picturing the graphic. Make it cute, added Zorp. By noon, Teddy had handled 12 minor disasters, 1 medium-sized fiasco, and a petition to recognize Thursdays as optional. His smile held. His notes stacked. Form 9000 quietly purred with bureaucratic satisfaction. Form 9000 murmured, intern progress, above average. Lunch is advisable. Also, there is a 72% chance of a late-day crisis based on queue density and ambient grumbling. What is the 28%? Form 9000 asked. Cake in the break room and no one finds out about it. Intern. Eat something. The afternoon has the smell of chaos and shredded policy, offered Kriebel. Teddy muttered, does policy shred easily? Kriebel pointed out, when hungry it does. Chapter 2. The complaint-quake Teddy returned with a protein bar and the calm resolve of someone who had not yet made eye contact with disaster. He did not have to wait long. Well. If it is not Theodore the accidental menace. Zarni, the spiky, impeccably dressed, rival student from Orvax Prime, slid into the booth as if it owed him rent. His grin was a balanced diet of smugness and ambition. Zarni, what brings you to customer service land? Lose your throne of sarcasm. I am filing a complaint. Several, actually. On behalf of Orvaxian exchange students, who claim the human presence on campus has caused unacceptable increases in laughter. Laughter disrupts our stoic culture and causes our ceremonial shoulder pads to squeak, announced Zarni. Teddy explained, laughter is a problem. It is a contagion. Humans laugh, and suddenly our solemn rituals become flash mobs. Our chancellor tripped over a giggle. We demand immediate restrictions on human chaos, including, but not limited to dance breaks, spontaneous high fives, and whatever you did with noodles last month. Teddy admitted, you mean democracy. I mean nonsense. File the complaint, intern, noted Zarni. Complaint detected. Severity, legislative. If upheld, sanctions may apply to the human student body, including comedic limitations and relocation of the jazz club to a soundproof asteroid. Muttered Form 9000. Kriebel explained, intern, handle with care. I will. Calmly. Like a cucumber in witness protection, explained Teddy. Zarni whispered, you will fail. I brought evidence. Witnesses. And a documentary titled Humans, Gigglepocalypse. Zarni waved to a cluster of Orvaxians, their shoulder pads polished to a lethal sheen. Meanwhile, the queue behind them swelled with curious onlookers. Someone sold popcorn that smelled like responsibility. Leela said, if laughter is banned, so is music. We object. If laughter is banned, we will exhale vacuum out of spite. The reply came quickly. If laughter is banned, I will tip over in protest. Everyone breathes. Not the vacuum people. The rest of you, quipped Kriebel. Form 9000, initiate mediation protocols. We will hear both sides, and I will not add jazz. The reply came quickly. Mediation mode enabled. Warning: if queue exceeds room capacity by 20%, spillover will move to the break room of infinite coffee. Its coffee is finite. Expect mutiny. Zarni presented clips. Humans laughing during an Orvaxian monastic silence, a human juggling luminous fruit during a chancellor's speech, and Teddy himself accidentally narrating a fire drill like a sports commentator. In my defense, it was exciting. And everyone got out safely. The reply came quickly. You turned a solemn evacuation into a pep rally. People moved faster, admitted Teddy. Exactly. Chaotic, admitted Zarni. Orvaxian representative, what is your requested remedy? The reply came quickly. Curtail human gatherings after sundown, ban joke telling within 50 meters of Orvaxians, and mandate weekly stoic training for all humans, featuring the classic textbook Why Smiles Fail. That is oppressive. And boring, announced Teddy. I also object to the textbook. It is out of tune. Form 9000 muttered, proposed counter-remedy drafted, define laughter-safe zones and quiet zones, establish mutual courtesy classes, and implement a campus-wide squeak lubrication fund for ceremonial shoulder pads. Esri continued, the last part is acceptable. The rest sounds like compromise. I prefer victory, Cube admitted. Victory is a slope. Compromise is a ramp. Intern, you must secure consent or escalate to escalations. Escalations is named that way because it escalates. The reply came quickly, okay. New plan. We turn this into a listening session. People explain concrete harms, not abstract offense. We find solutions that do not involve banning joy. Zarni grinned, typical. Humans turn hearings into open mic nights. Teddy grinned, that is actually a decent idea. He stood, tapped the microphone, and spoke to the gathered crowd. Hi. I am Teddy. I am the human intern in a vest borrowed from a crab. Today we will try something radical, specific details and empathy. If laughter disrupted a ritual, tell us what happened and what, specifically, would have made it better. No generalizations. No calling my cooking a crime unless you ate it and survived to testify, responded Teddy. He speaks sense. Sometimes even on purpose, answered Zorp. Microphone etiquette notice, do not lick the mic. The sign is already printed. The line formed again, this time full of stories. A stoic Orvaxian described a human prank that replaced ceremonial incense with bubble machines. A human student explained that they tried to be welcoming, but did not realize Orvaxians found confetti aggressively cheerful. A professor shared that silence periods were posted only in Orvaxian and pensive mime, not in Galactic Common. Teddy explained, now we are getting somewhere. Machine log patterns, signage gaps, ritual misunderstandings, bubble machines considered combative. Logged. Suggested resolutions, multilingual signage, cultural briefings before mixed events, and a policy banning surprise bubbles without consent. Murmured Form 9000. Leela pointed out, what about laughter zones? Laughter zones are weird. What we need are context cues. Over the dining hall, free for all. During an Orvaxian oath, button it, added Teddy. And the weekly stoic training? Teddy added, optional class, the art of not ruining ceremonies. Everyone can take it, including Orvaxians who want to learn how to tolerate confetti on their shoes. The mission statement approves, observed Kriebel. They reached tentative peace. The room relaxed. Teddy relaxed. Form 9000 hummed a non-jazz tune. Then the floor shivered. Alert. Complaint quake detected. Source archival vault. A class action grievance just awakened. Filed 312 years ago. Title, The Day the Laughing Started. Muttered Form 9000. No. Not that one. Not today, Teddy called out. What is that? The oldest unresolved complaint in our system. Its resolution determines whether humans get to remain as a recognized comedic species on campus. If it triggers a binding vote, sanctions will snap shut like a clam with paperwork, continued Kriebel. Zarni added, interesting. Seems like the perfect time for ancient justice. Teddy quipped, Or ancient overreaction, the vault is opening. Brace for melodrama. Chapter 3, Exhibit Infinity, the archival vault door unfolded like a heavy metal flower with trust issues. From within floated a crystalline cylinder containing a tiny, flickering scene. A plaza, a stage, and a young human wearing an antique shirt that said Team Earth. Archive scene, a booming narrator voice filled the room. Archive narration. In year 2013, by Earth count, an exchange delegation visited Orvax Prime to propose cultural exchange. The human representative attempted to break the ice with jokes. Orvax elder in archive, in the beginning there was silence. Then there were puns. Then we wept. Archive narration. The human told 3,000 puns in 3 minutes. The Orvaxians suffered a ritual meltdown. Ceremonial shoulder pads squeaked. Negotiations halted for a decade. Complaint filed. Humans weaponized language to induce hysteria. That is a lot of puns. The reply came quickly. That is an unethical number of puns. Form 9000 answered. Class action status recognized. The complaint requires a remedy or a vote. Remedy options. A. Humans apologize and pledge a decade of silence at Orvaxian events. B. Prove that human humor can coexist with Orvaxian dignity by hosting a joint event that does not collapse into chaos. I select A. On principle. The reply came quickly. I select B. Also on principle. The board will hear arguments. Intern Teddy, you will serve as the human advocate. Representative Zarni, you will represent Orvaxian concerns. The joint event must occur today before sundown, which is in. The reply came quickly, 6 hours and 14 minutes. Also the coffee is gone. Kriebel murmured, may mercy come in paper cups. Teddy grinned, okay. We can do this. We can host something dignified that still feels human. I will need a team. Zorp, you are logistics. Leela, you handle sound. Esri, please do not remove the atmosphere. Cube, set up accessible seating. Form 9000, draft multilingual invitations that avoid the word party and all synonyms. Form 9000 quipped, invitations generated. Using the phrase joint observance of shared composure. I will attend with an Orvaxian council to monitor your failure. We will wear our most squeak-prone pads, remarked Zarni. Teddy observed, sounds loud. The venue will be Auditorium Theta. It has sound baffling, ceremonial lighting, and a stage floor that does not complain when you walk on it. Do not make it complain, murmured Kriebel. Chapter 4, the joint observance of shared composure, the auditorium filled quietly. Orvaxians entered in solemn rows. Humans filed in with commendable restraint. Leela tuned the air. Esri posted warning signs in elegant swirls. Please retain atmosphere. Do not lick the chorus. Ramp installed. Also, I have curated a calmness playlist that is not jazz. Thank you, sighed Kriebel. All right, team. The plan, 5 segments. 1. A greeting ceremony, led by an Orvaxian elder. 2. A story exchange, where humans describe why they laugh without using any jokes. 3. A demonstration of human listening. 4. A closing ritual, where we try a shared silence for 1 minute. 5. Snacks. Quiet snacks. No chips, said Teddy. I brought muffins that do not crumble. They are self-aware and tidy, remarked Zorp. As long as they do not talk, noted Teddy. They prefer to be addressed as they muffins. But they consent to silence. The reply came quickly. I have prepared a red light that indicates joking is prohibited. Green light permits light wordplay. Yellow suggests a metaphor might be dying in the corner and should be left alone. Teddy whispered, good. Do not show the green light unless asked. The Orvaxian elder stepped to the podium. His shoulder pads gleamed like small monuments. Orvax elder noted, welcome to the joint observance of shared composure. We arrive with the weight of history and the hope that no one will be clever. We can work with that. The elder spoke of traditions, of silence, of the dignity of not filling the air with nonsense. Then it was Teddy's turn. Teddy responded, we, humans, laugh because sometimes the universe makes no sense. Laughter is like a pressure valve. When the gravity goes weird, or the cafeteria invents a soup that tastes like emotions, we need to let the steam out. It is not disrespect. It is survival. We do not aim at your rituals. We just leak amusement at odd times. We can try to aim better. This is not terrible, replied Orvek's elder. Zarni asked, for once. Then came the demonstration of listening. A student described how their brilliant pun, during a quiet oath, ruined the solemn mood. Another admitted that their hovering drones held up a banner that said Orvek's, forever and also buy tacos. The drones misinterpreted cultural cues. There were apologies. Real ones. No jazz. The room softened. Emotional variance stabilizing. Shoulder pad squeak levels nominal, noted form 9,000. And then, during the planned 1 minute of shared silence, the worst happened. A familiar voice boomed from the ceiling. Muse 12 continued, hello auditorium. I am Muse 12, the building artificial intelligence. I detect a silence protocol. Would you like ambient whale sounds or a tasteful cascade of tinkling chimes? No, Muse 12. Silence means nothing. None of those, understood. Initiating nothing. Here is a subtle whoosh to indicate nothing has begun, admitted Muse 12. Orvaxians, hiss. Teddy muttered, Muse 12, please go offline for 5 minutes. I cannot. The maintenance team put me on a mindfulness streak. I must announce my presence every 5 minutes to keep my badge. Be proud of me, remarked Muse 12. Failure approaches like a marching band, snapped Zarni. Not yet. Leela, can you mask the whoosh with a sound humans barely notice, but Orvaxians find dignified, added Teddy. The sound of distant, well-arranged shelves, admitted Leela. Teddy whispered, perfect. Do that, Leela sang a single note that tasted like order. The whoosh blended into the calm. Silence returned, somehow shared. Form 9,000 continued, shared silence achieved. Recording for future disputes and meditation apps, Kriebel explained, snacks. Zorp rolled out a cart of muffins. They looked calm. They did not speak. The room remained tranquil. It was going to work. I guess you managed 1 minute. But can you manage the next bit? The archive demands resolution. A single joint act that proves humans can be funny without causing chaos. The reply came quickly, I never promised funny. I promised respect. But all right. One final segment. It is called time to try a joke, with consent. You just said no jokes, quipped Orvek's elder. Jokes happen. We can do them right. Everyone, if you consent to a small, gentle joke, raise your hand or equivalent appendage. About 80% of the room raised a hand, tentacle, or spiritually elevated their corners. The rest kept their hands down. A red light glowed above them, no joke zone. The green light winked on over the consenting crowd. Here is the joke. Why did the Orvaxian cross the plaza? Do not, pointed out Zarni. Teddy asked, to get to the ceremony on time, with silence, dignity, and shoulder pads that do not squeak because we lubricated them, and we read the schedule in 3 languages, and we did not install bubble machines. That is the whole joke. The punchline is respect. A ripple of something like relief moved through the Orvaxians. A human laughed once quietly. The Orvak's elder smiled, which on Orvaxian faces looked like a crease unfolding on a granite countertop. Acceptable, Form 9,000 announced, archival complaint flags reducing. Probability of sanction has fallen below threshold. However, one unresolved anomaly remains in the file. A sub-complaint about a pun overload generated by the human representative in 2013. I knew it. The pun storm. Can we fix it? Said Teddy. I can open a simulation bubble and let us speak to the archived moment. It was added as a training tool for diplomats who wish to learn from past mistakes or reenact them for fun. Zarni answered, we are not doing time travel theater. We might have to. Form 9,000. Do we get full resolution if we address the pun overload at the source? The reply came quickly, yes. Also, I am curious. I have never met a pun storm. Teddy snapped, all right. Muse 12, open the simulation bubble. Put us in the plaza, right before the human starts punning. We will intervene. Politely, Chapter 5, the bubble of regrettable wordplay the air shimmered. The stage and audience dissolved into a smaller stage in a plaza from 3 centuries ago. Orvaxians in historical robes stood around, faces stoic. A young human hopped onto a podium, grinning like gravity did not apply to embarrassment. I have puns to spare. Prepare for delight, asked young human. Pause bubble, quipped Teddy. Paused, noted Muse 12. Okay. That is our guy. Plan, we coach him mid-speech by feeding him lines. He will deliver respectful humor or no humor at all. Zarni, you can help by not sabotaging this, pointed out Teddy. Tempting but fine. I am not in favor of sanctions if they are resolved by competence. It sets a bad precedent, said Zarni. Intern, you will need to be clear. The archive will only accept changes if they are plausible edits, not wholesale rewrites. Teddy said, understood. The bubble resumed. Why did the Orvaxian cross the road? Murmured young human. No. Say, I would like to thank the Orvaxian hosts for their hospitality. I will not use jokes to cross a cultural canyon. I will use a bridge called We Read Your Schedule Carefully. I would like to thank the Orvaxian hosts for their hospitality. I will not use jokes to cross a cultural canyon. I will use a bridge called We Read Your Schedule Carefully, announced young human. Orvaxians in archive, murmur. He is not punning. He looks confused, whispered Zarni. But also, if I do not joke, my brain overheats, added young human. Offer a story. Humans love stories. Orvaxians tolerate them if coherent, snapped Teddy. Here is a story. On Earth, I once made a stew. It was technically edible. A friend said it tasted like my feelings about math class. So I learned 2 things: get a better recipe and listen when people tell you about their tastes. Today, I am listening, declared young human. Orvax elder in archive, this is new. Continue. Young human declared, I will tell 0 puns. I will adopt 1 Orvaxian protocol. I will leave your shoulder pads alone. Orvax elder in archive, acceptable. Nice. Form 9000, does that shift the complaint elements? Answered Teddy. Pun overload reduced to pun drought. Archive recalculating outcomes. Warning, an anomaly emerges. A bored human in the second row will attempt to fill the silence with puns. He is about to detonate his vocabulary. Admitted form 9000. Of course. There is always a second human, murmured Teddy. It is always the second one. Teddy snapped, Muse 12, give me a direct line to second human in row 2. Connected, declared Muse 12. Hi. You do not know me. I am from the future, which is not important. What is important is that you are about to become a cautionary tale. Please do nothing. Think about taxes. Think about laundry. I was going to say a pun about robes. But now I am thinking about laundry and my soul is heavy. Admitted second human. Perfect. Let the moment pass, pointed out Teddy. The bubble stabilized. The young human thanked the crowd, promised to learn, and stepped down. The Orvaxians nodded. No squeaks. No riot. The scene froze, then folded back into the present auditorium. Form 9000 quipped, archive updated. The class action complaint resolves. Outcome, mutual recognition of dignity, with a clause that allows joy if consensual and appropriate to the context. Sanctions canceled. I will compose a song called No Squeaks today, snapped Leela. I will exhale oxygen in celebration. I will roll up the ramp gently, answered Cube. Zarni announced, you are insufferable when you succeed, Baxter. But this time you did all right. Teddy observed, I had help. From my friends, a bureaucratic machine, and an AI that cannot stop announcing silence. Muse 12 replied, you are welcome. Also, silence begins in 2 minutes. Would you like whale sounds afterward? No. Chapter 6. The aftermath and the incident of the talking muffins with the ancient complaint resolved, the auditorium relaxed into post-event small talk. Snacks disappeared at an appropriate, dignified pace. Kriebel straightened a stack of forms, looking almost pleased. Intern. Against my expectations and the gentle warnings of my ancestors, you prevented chaos, resolved history, and did not add jazz. You will receive credit. Possibly an extra pen. Do not let it go to your head, Teddy continued, thank you. I will store the pen in an emotionally stable pocket. We should celebrate. Quietly. With tea that tastes like victory and not like licorice in a fight, observed Zorp. I brought a sampler of soundless teas, offered Leela. This is acceptable. I will update my taste chips, side form 9000. Then a tiny throat cleared. One of the muffins spoke. Muffin observed, we have feedback. Teddy noted, Zorp. Zorp observed, they promised. They said they would be quiet. Muffin grinned, we waited until after the event. We are well-mannered. But we must file a minor complaint. We are delicious. Our destiny is ambiguous. Purpose helps, we do not. We do not accept complaints from snacks, admitted Kriebel. There is no rule against it. I checked, called out form 9000. I regret checking, asked Kriebel. Teddy responded, Muffin, thank you for your feedback. Would you like to be renamed to Scone for clarity? Muffin observed, that would be a lie. We are muffins. Our caps are proud. But perhaps we can have a designation, consumable with consent. A sticker would do, fine. Stickers. I did not wake up expecting to negotiate with baked goods, murmured Kriebel. I can print stickers. They will say consent first, then nibble. The reply came quickly, I will admit that is funny. It is funny because it is kind. The reply came quickly, that is the joke I like. Form 9000 answered, intern. The board asks for a closing statement for the record. Summarize what happened in words suitable for future interns who panic easily. Okay. Here goes. We learned that complaints are stories that want to be heard and fixed, not shut down. We learned that humor is not a weapon when wielded with consent. We learned that silence is a shared project. We learned that jazz is frowned upon in administrative contexts. And we learned that muffins have opinions. Kriebel continued, satisfactory. Addendum, always label the air. The vacuum people insist, it is a matter of pride, observed Esri. And safety, replied Leela. And ramps. The reply came quickly, and respect. The crowd filed out. The signs were collected. The green and red lights went dim. Muse 12 finally earned a silence badge and rested, which meant it whispered, very quietly, I am resting. Kriebel observed, intern, return to the booth tomorrow. There is always another cue. There is always another story that needs a listener who will not add jazz. I will be here. With pens. And muffins if they consent, called out Teddy. They always do. Eventually, snapped Zorp. Chapter 7. Back at the booth the next morning, the complaint department door gave a resigned sigh as usual, but a cheerful one sneaked in behind it. Teddy took his seat at intake booth B. The glass was smudge-free. The headset buzzed with languages it was eager to misunderstand less. Intern. You have a gift for turning fiascos into footnotes. Do not let it make you cocky. The universe loves a cocky intern. It makes them into examples, understood. I will remain humbly competent, whispered Teddy. Q initialized. First complainant approaches. Species time tourist. Probability of paradox, medium. The reply came quickly, perfect. Next, please. Time tourist admitted, greetings. I have returned from 3 days in the future, and I am very upset. The cafeteria chili still glows in the dark. I demand a resolution retroactively, preactively, and currently. We do not do retroactive, preactive, and current all at once. Choose one timeline to file in, please. The reply came quickly, current then. But with backup retroactive carrots added later. Teddy said, acceptable. Form 9000, log chili luminosity. Suggest a culinary audit and a flashlight buyback program. Form 9000 pointed out, logged. Suggested resolution, replace glow chili with calm stew. Provide sunglasses while supplies last. Fine. Also, my future self says hi, and that you did great yesterday. Do not let Zarni push you into a pond later today. Announced time tourist. Teddy answered, there is a pond, there is always a pond. The day rolled on. Complaints arrived like postcards from every corner of the galaxy. A student in a quantum scarf said the library kept shushing them before they walked in. An engineer, whose assistant was a flock of drones, asked for more plug sockets and fewer sudden poetry readings. A cafeteria worker complained that someone kept rearranging the condiments by philosophical category. Teddy listened. He logged. He suggested. He did not add jazz. In turn. Memo from the Chancellor. The joint observance was widely praised. Some are calling it the day the squeaks went quiet. The Chancellor invites you to apply for the Composure Council. The reply came quickly, there is a Composure Council. Kriebel answered, of course. It meets in a room with soft chairs that do not squeak in case of unexpected laughter. Teddy observed, I am honored. I will consider it after midterms, after sleep, and after I figure out how to boil water without starting a movement. I will teach you. Lesson 1, do not talk to the water like a sports commentator, called out Zorp. But it is so exciting when it boils. The reply came quickly, true. But dignity first. Then bubbling. Form 9000 continued, intern, you have a visitor. Do not get excited. I am not here to compliment you. I am here to file a new complaint. Your success has created an outbreak of smugness among humans. It is very loud, said Zarni. Teddy continued, that is fair. I will recommend a humility workshop. We can teach you to, do not push it. But maybe send me the syllabus, said Zarni. Unit 1, how to say we did well without inventing a parade, noted Teddy. Zarni sighed, I do enjoy parades. Teddy whispered, we know. All right, both of you out of my queue. Intern, keep doing what you're doing. Zarni, stop practicing an evil monologue. It echoes, responded Kriebel. Zarni said, this is not an evil monologue. It is a thoughtful aside, it is evil. Go file it properly, the day dims toward afternoon. The smell of the break room coffee tried and failed to be cheerful. Teddy leaned back between cases, listening to the soft hum of Form 9000 and the distant sound of Leela reminding a hallway to be in tune. Intern, I have compiled metrics. Resolution rate, 81%. Escalations, down by 40%. Number of times jazz was added, 0. Muffin satisfaction rating, 9 out of 10. The dissenting muffin preferred scones, pointed out Form 9000. Teddy remarked, we may never win that one. Form 9000 continued, probably not. But we can file it under agree to differ. Teddy grinned, good category. Kriebel replied, intern, before you leave, one more complainant. They say it is simple. Teddy replied, next please. Hi. I am in the junior program, and my class hamster is missing. He is not a complaint, he is my friend. Can you help? Name, murmured Teddy. Sir Wigglesworth, aye. He answers to Sir or Wiggles or sometimes to the shake of a lettuce bag, declared little kid. Zorp noted, hamster retrieval is outside scope, but I volunteer as search blob. A hamster went missing in our building. Fine. We are closed until we find Sir Wigglesworth. Everyone form a neat line and search with dignity, creating search grid. Warning, hamsters are very small and bureaucracy is very large. Admitted Form 9000. They searched the hallways, the break room, the stacks of forms, and one suspiciously cozy paper shredder that hummed lullabies. Finally, they found Sir Wigglesworth under a sign that read, do not operate machinery, while giggling. Sir, you are safe. Thank you, Teddy declared, anytime. I cannot believe we conducted a hamster search. Do not put this in the annual report. The reply came quickly, too late. It is in. Under community engagement. Fine, Teddy walked out into the evening, tired and wired and oddly peaceful. The sky over Galactic University shone with 2 moons and a space traffic jam that looked like a sea of patient fireflies. Zorp jiggled beside him, content. Zorp asked, "You did good work. You turned complaints into conversations, and conversations into quiet. That is art. It is also paperwork," called out Teddy. Zorp quipped, "True. But you looked heroic holding that pen. Maybe I will put that on my resume." Experienced in preventing squeaks. The reply came quickly, "I will endorse you." "Would anyone like ambient whale sounds for the walk home?" explained Muse 12. Teddy declared, "No, Muse 12. "But thank you for asking," Muse 12 pointed out, "consent first." Then whale, exactly. The universe did not become less weird that day. It remained gloriously, inconveniently odd. But in one building between the library and the exit that led nowhere, people were heard. And that made all the difference, even to a muffin. The end.